Ladies and gentlemen, the Hoop Talk crew is back much quicker than you expected, but don't worry. It's not a podcast episode, man. We are going to take the time out to talk about the Ox League. That's all it is. We're going to spend about 20, 25, 30 minutes, who knows, wherever the conversation takes us. And we're going to discuss last week of the Ox League, future of the Ox League, MVP races, championship contenders, all that good stuff. It's the same gang as usual. We're going to get right into it. Let's go ahead and discuss the last week 3 results. Let's put that up. Well, I'm not going to put it up on the screen for y'all, but I'm going to kind of summarize it real quick and then we'll start the conversation from there. We'll go game by game. I think that's the easiest way to do this. Game 1 of week 3 was the Ducks versus Death Star. A
Man,
massacre. A massacre, I would say. Me and Pluto were there. Tyler wasn't able to make it, so me and Pluto will probably start the conversation and then just we'll go from there. Uh, Pluto, tell us about the game, man. What do you remember? What are your thoughts? How do you feel?
um, I'll start off with this. I think Death Star is like the worst best team. That's Nas's favorite phrase as well, the worst best team. I think they have a lot of talent on their team, but also I don't think they all play well together and they argue a little bit. But it's not like they're an NBA or nothing like that. No shade or nothing, but they argue a little bit. They're still trying to figure each other out. One of my favorite players on that team is their point guard, and I think it's their backup point guard. He's the bigger set fella. I don't have the names in front of me, guys, so I will need
Which team?
assistance from it. Death Star. He's their point guard. He's the one
Are you,
that
t-
goes
you
kind of
talking about
crazy.
the flashy one?
Yeah, the baby Harden.
Yeah,
The
you're
baby
talking about
compact
Nigel.
Harden.
You're talking about Nigel, bro. Nigel's one of the
Nigel,
most flashy
Nigel
players
has,
I've ever seen in my life.
yo, he's smooth.
He don't be
I gotta show
finishing
him some
though,
props.
but he's
Yeah,
got flash.
yeah. And he's one of my favorite players in the league. And yeah, Death Stars, they try their best, but the team they play, the Ducks are too deep. I think the Ducks, when it comes to rotation, they're one of the deepest teams in the league. And being deep in this league really is being like 10 deep. That's being deep in this league. So like, I don't know. I think with the fact that they can rotate, they have two big men that are decent, like pretty good big men. I really like how they played and things like that. The Ducks.
Yeah, I did watch it because I did the stats for this. Um, I was talking the other day about like I wanted Lorenzo to take more shots, and he finally did, and like it was working for Death Star, but Nigel be fucking around sometimes. You can't convince me otherwise. Some of the shit that he tries to pull out is like some of the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like
Yeah.
he's doing spin moves on almost every possession. Like it's like the no look passes. It's fun as hell, but he don't be hitting
Yeah.
the shots. Like I don't know what you want to do with that. And then they got the big fella on that team, Jabari, I think his name, number 12, takes a lot of threes. He hasn't been hitting them. So like you got Lorenzo and you got Dom who are like showing out, but then like everyone else on the squad is kind of not really showing up consistently. That's why they're not really doing too well.
Even again, I don't have the names in front of me. Even the guy with the long locks on their team, he's
Lorenzo.
actually Lorenzo. Okay, Lorenzo. I don't think we're talking about the same guy. Then I'm talking about the really small point guard, the heavy set dude.
Yeah, that's
Nigel.
that's Nigel.
Also, Lorenzo's okay with the locks. Awesome. So Lorenzo, I feel like Lorenzo will be holding back a little bit. Lorenzo's one of those players that you kind of got to talk shit for him to get kind of active. But once you kind of like spark that in him, I noticed that he does get hungry and wants to eat. But I feel like he's not a self motivator. If he can self motivate himself, I think this team can be a completely different team. If he can average like close to like 20, 25 points,
He took
20
the
points
shots,
more
bro.
realistic. Yeah,
Before
he
this
has to.
week, he wasn't taking the shots like this week. Like this week, he shot 15, but before then, like 6, 10. Like you gotta shoot more,
He
especially
has to.
against Stampede. You gotta shoot more.
Yeah. Dom needs help. And when Dom's not hitting, he needs that help from him. And he's a perfect person to help he's just as consistent. He can do everything Dom does, not to the T, but he has the capability to pass, he has the capability to dribble, he has the capability to hit some shots. So like Dom counts on him. So he does need to show up for Dom. Even and Dom didn't really show up this weekend either. But, the whole team needs to shape up.
Yeah, there has to be some unity among some of these teams, and I think Death Star is one of the teams that needs that the most. It's not a league where you have coaching, so you don't have that leader that's going to get you out of your own head and And some of these teams,
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, so I can't speak to it, but I believe I can't imagine there's a lot of practice time available to them based on schedules and stuff and all that kind of thing that they have to
Yeah.
work out. So that's a factor too. But I think they need to find some unity in how they communicate with each other and figure out who's the leader of the team, who are we gonna follow throughout this game, and who's gonna set us straight because I don't know. I mean, a lot of the shots they take is just not necessary. Like Dom went 7 for 20. It's like that's just you can't tell me out of the 20 shots you took, all 20 of those were necessary to be taken. You know what I mean? Like, and
No.
you can say, oh,
No.
I got fouled here, or I got you can have all the complaints that you want, but I mean, come on. You had a lot of step back threes that never needed to be taken. You had a lot of takes to the basket that were unnecessary. Could have been a kick out. A lot of things could have happened differently. And I think that's where that unity comes into place. If they're not going to have a coach or a team captain, then they need to have a way of trusting each other as a unit to be like, yo, somebody has to be able to say something. Somebody has to be able to set us straight and get us back in line because we can't take contested shots or bad drives or never kick the ball or never make the extra pass for 5, 6 possessions in a row, and nobody's gonna say anything except when we get on the bench and a timeout and we start arguing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, the
I,
Ducks had 25 assists to give you an idea. They were passing the ball. They were
yeah.
taking
Yeah,
good shots.
yeah. They
I,
had
I
three
will say
players
this as
with
well.
they had
Oh,
three
go ahead.
players with 6 or more assists. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
the ball is moving. They're playing aggressive. They're being smart with it, and that's all it takes. Like, it's not like the talent level is extraordinarily different in this league. It's all generally the same talent level. It's about who's going to be more disciplined, who's going to be more composed out there. In these last 2 weeks, the Ducks have shown to be that.
Yeah. And I
Bro, the
agree with
Ducks,
you.
remember, the Ducks won with only 5 players. What was it, last week? Or like 3 weeks ago now? That shit's insane, bro. That shows you
Yeah.
that like they're a little bit more level headed. And they didn't even have Jerome, who's like if you really look at the league, other than Aaron Mims, who we've only seen once, he's really the only real big guy. Like the
Hmm.
real big man. Like he's a big body, he's got length, he's tall. Like he be forcing shit around. He had 15 rebounds, bro. He had 18, 15, and 6.
Yeah.
Like that team
Uh,
doesn't have that.
with to even add on with your Tyler, because we're on the same page, Death Star, and you guys could we could all attest. We've been around a couple of these leagues. I think the best teams, their players come on time and are there. Um, and they're ready before the game. They're doing their treatments. They're doing their pre workouts on the side. In these leagues, no matter how good you are, you can't expect to win a game if your sixth player doesn't come until the third quarter. And on top of that, you can't expect to be like build consistency if not everybody's there. This isn't a league where you're going to have 5 or 6 weeks to gel. Like every time someone's not there or something's missing, that's like you're not building something. It's like you got to start from the beginning again. And Death Star, like I've seen the last couple of weeks, and I wasn't there second week of the league, but I can only imagine. I'm guessing they were missing players, so they you need at least 8 players in this league, and you need 8 players who are consistently there every week to win
But
in any league you play in.
those Ducks, like you say though, they show up. Like I see Ethan there as soon as I get there, pretty much like every time.
Exactly.
He's there like
Yeah.
every time. Like they just Daniel is sitting in the corner like every single day.
Yeah.
I've never interacted with him, but I just see him warming up every single time I'm there. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people just they want to play basketball. Some people want to win.
Yeah. And I'm not comparing leagues, but even like I'm just giving you a player that I remember would do this in the GM5 Mello. He'd be there like at least half the day or more than half the day, and he would stay sometimes to watch the other people play. And that's the MVP of that league. He's not coming in 5 minutes late. He's going in there. He's got his gun. He's watching the other team play before him, and he's watching some of the last team before that. And on top of that, we all know, and
Shout
he's
out
told us himself,
Gilbert.
Melo is tapped in, so he watches this stuff and he's watching film. Another thing is you got to watch film, even just for tendency wise. You're not looking for plays, for tendencies. Yeah, with Death
What
Star,
are you
you
not
just have
seeing? What are you missing? Like what shot am I not taking that should be? Because like Dom is nasty, but like you said, Nas, he does take he has a tendency to get tunnel vision and take some tough shots, and maybe it's because the rest of the team is not hitting, but like that does happen. It does take place
yeah,
currently from what we could see. Maybe
yeah,
maybe if they practice a little bit more, they warm up. I don't know what it is, but Like I do think that they have a good squad. I do think that they have people that I enjoy watching, and they do play well together. Especially Nigel, probably one of the funniest dudes I've ever seen play basketball.
You
He's
wouldn't
crafty as
expect it.
hell.
You wouldn't expect it from his build. His build would not allow you to see that he could throw it behind his back, no look between three
I don't
people.
believe it.
Yeah,
It's insane.
he has some crazy passes for sure. But I mean, shout out to the Ducks, man. They showed up. They had 96 or what is that? 96 total points. They went crazy. I mean, you talk
God
about
damn.
Daniel had
They've
God.
been
20.
crazy. They've been crazy.
Daniel had 22. You talking about Tony had 23. Jerome made his season debut. He had 18 and 15, 18 points, 15
Ethan had
rebounds.
16.
Ethan had 16. So it's like they showed up for sure. And B. Harden wasn't even there that day, and he's an aggressive player. He can easily contribute on a night like that where they have it going, bro. He may have had a 20 piece right there. You know what I mean? So
Would have scored
Or even
120
defensively,
easily.
he's
yeah.
another person defensively you got to deal with too.
Yeah, so it's, shout out to the Ducks for putting up a performance. Jerome Ricks was actually quoted. He said that if he was there for the matchup against the Grizzlies, they would be undefeated right now. That's what he said. Those his
I believe it.
words.
Right now,
And
I
Jerome
believe
is
it. I'm
a
not gonna lie. I believe
talker.
it.
Yeah, Jerome be talking smack, bro. He be on the bench just talking anything that comes out of his brain. It just has to come out of his mouth
I love
immediately,
that shit,
no
bro.
hesitation.
Favorite thing that he does every game is if you had me, we would have won. But he says it to the other team.
It's so
That
disrespectful,
is
bro.
the hardest quote ever.
But on that team, I might say his name wrong, but it's number 99. He's always got the bonnet on. Jave Tony, I think is his name.
The Bonnet
Bro, that
Bomber.
dude is
Yeah,
he's nasty too. Like bonnet
Yes.
is that's what I'm gonna call him. That's you ever see Destroying? He does like the football YouTube videos.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a dude named Bonnet that shows up and just cooks everyone. That like he's Bonnet for this league. He just
Bonnet's
comes in,
like
he
he's
cooks,
like
and
one of the better 3-point shooters in the league too. That's what's crazy. And he's one of the better passers as well. And honestly on that team, I don't know who's louder, him or his girlfriend on the sideline or his wife. I don't want to disrespect no one.
just fucking
But
hilarious. So
yeah, it's hilarious. But like he is the leader of that team. Like he is the leader and he's a great leader on top of that. Like whenever they're going through slumps or whether they're doing good, he's always got like a very cool, calm, like a cool, calm and collect vibe to him. And he's a really good like leadership figure for that team.
I'm not
100%.
gonna take away from Ethan and B Harden though, because I always see them on the bench. I always see them talking with people. Like the three of them, it's like
Yeah.
a three-headed snake. You just
Yeah, it is. It is.
come out there,
And they're
they
good
kinda leave
friends
these
on
two
top of that.
yeah. And they
They're
be
good
talking
friends.
shit to each other, but then they come back afterwards.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. I love it.
yeah.
moving on
But
to the
no,
next
these
matchup
Ducks.
though. Oh, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I was just saying I like these Ducks now. B Harden was right. We were wrong. We should talk about them more.
But yeah, moving on to the next matchup, though, we got the Stampede versus the Grizzlies, which looked like the Grizzlies were going to have a pretty rough night, but then they got kind of close there in that second half, and then they kind of faded away again in that fourth quarter. So they resulted in having a rough night, but the Grizzlies have finally been taken down. I had them going undefeated. I was wrong. Stampede take that 74-64. I will say the Stampede are a very interesting team. I think Jalen could probably be making an argument for being the best player in the league. I think there's definitely a good argument to be had there, but it's only his second game, and his first game was a slow start. But I do believe that now he's got his feet under him. Assuming he shows up for the rest of the regular season, I think we can definitely see 20-point performances from him going forward. He went crazy. Not only did he have 30 points, but he also had 12 rebounds, which I think he had a lot of rebounds in the first week that he showed up too. So he's the smallest guy out there, grabbing all the boards. He has that Russell Westbrook mentality. He's just playing hard. He's just on go.
You fly,
Yeah.
bro. You see how high he gets up there?
Yeah, he drove into
Yeah.
a dunk last week. He drove into a dunk, a ring raiser, mind you, but regardless, the fact that he was able to rise up like that and dunk it unexpectedly is he's a freak of nature, man. The Stampede, I think, have a strong argument, after beating the Grizzlies for the best team in the league. There's a
Favorites,
possibility
yeah.
there.
Me too.
But I'd like to see more, of course. I don't want to just, I think Jalen kind of carried the load. I don't think anybody really was out there, scoring at a high level. But I mean,
Nah.
that's what it takes. Everybody did contribute. There were multiple double-digit scores. Everybody did contribute. Everybody did do their part, and if somebody's got it going, feed the hot hand. So there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that at all. So I
yeah.
like that. What do you guys think about that matchup?
I
I loved
like
it.
that.
They got cooked.
Oh, go ahead,
The
go ahead,
Grizzlies
Tyler.
got yeah. I'll go for the Grizzlies. Absolutely got cooked. I think that they were a little weaker against a team with like a dynamic scorer in ESPN because they didn't really have anyone to put on him to guard him. Because it's either you're putting someone that's slower than him in like Josias, like a Ryan Clark or something. Even Jamarius is a little slower than him, or you're putting someone that's just shorter than him in Kevin Henry or Kevin Harvey, and he can't guard him. Like ESPN, ESPN's gonna keep cooking like this. I think. I think he's to be very similar to like some other people that we talked about, like Ryan Clark, like Pringle, like people that we talked about in other teams as well. But it's just hard to stop someone that athletic that can also kind of shoot. Like he's highly aggressive, and if you don't have a big man that can play in the paint, you don't really have anyone that could guard them. And if Aaron
Yeah,
Mims is not going to be here again next week or the next time they play, you're not going to be able to guard him. So
yeah,
what do you do?
Yeah, they were missing a lot. Attendance is going to be key for this league because D'Angelo Lee wasn't available as well, and you could argue he's the best player on that team, but he's only been there for 1 out of 3 weeks. So like somebody asked me when the game was over and we were heading home, like if D'Angelo Lee was here, do I think the game would have been different? And I 100% do. I do think the Grizzlies would have won that game if D'Angelo Lee was there because I think he would have settled them a little bit. I think they took a lot of bad shots. I think they weren't their usual selves without D'Angelo. And I think his ability to grab those offensive boards, his ability to be athletic and be dynamic on both ends of the floor, I definitely think they could have won if he was there. But I think Jalen might have something different to say.
yeah. I will say this. My favorite thing about what we do is we get to see different leagues with different players. We get to see ESPN be a six man, and now he's possibly the cornerstone for the team he's on now, and he's the best, one of the best players in this league. You get to see different versions of these players, and my biggest takeaway was this: is ESPN gonna, you know, Jalen, is he gonna, step up and be that guy? Because I've never seen him in that position. Obviously, I only saw him in the GM5. So from what I saw, he looked like the best player that night. Um, and he's just one of the shorter guys in the league, snatching rebounds, scoring at will. The rim grazer dunk that Nas is talking about, he took 2 steps from the free throw line and threw it in there. This guy's 5'9", 5'10". He's not a big dude. So I think the fact that he's able to get his bucket with this team, the team is a different team. No one really was hitting their shots, but it is a different team, and there's a head to the snake now. So I think they have a leader now, and that's big ups for them. But to get on the Grizzlies, I just feel like the Grizzlies spacing was not the same as it was when they did win the first week. It wasn't the same spacing. Um, when I saw it, it didn't look as fluid. I even told one of the players, "You're usually always smiling. Why aren't you smiling today?" So again, it wasn't the same Grizzlies team that we're used to seeing. I will say that, but yeah, the spacing was bad, and that's really I think that was their biggest problem. They just didn't have enough spacing, and they weren't making their shots.
Yeah, the
What I will
ball.
say, oh, wait, I want to say one thing about the Grizzlies. I want to see them try something different. I think they run a lot of their actions with Jamaris Pringle as like the primary ball handler. He's
Yeah,
like their best finisher. He can kind of do it all, but he can't shoot. I want to
yeah,
see Kevin Harvey handle the ball a little bit more. I like when he handles it, and you have like a 1-2 game with him and Ryan Clark, or a 1-2 game with him and Jamarius with Ryan Clark, off in the corner. You switch either Ryan Clark or Jamarius in the corner. I think that makes the most sense. One of them spotting up, one of them cutting, with Kevin Harvey being the primary ball handler. I like that team a little if they do that. And then
yeah.
also Patrick Trillo as another primary ball handler with D'Angelo Reed. I think that would be better.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tyler. I think you're right. Because I like Pringle off actions. I like Pringle off catching and then going right to the basket, versus him trying to create off the dribble. Because I think that fucks up their spacing. Because and it's not that he's not a good passer. I haven't seen him pass out of the layup, a layup to a shooter. So if he's able to get more one on one actions without needing the ball in his hand to create himself, I think it will benefit him, and it would benefit the shooters if they have more of a person who can find them. So yeah, for sure, I agree with you, Tyler.
I want to see him cutting. I want to see him cutting a lot. Like
Pick and
I think
rolls,
that'd be a lot more. Yeah.
pick and rolls, all that.
Yeah, they need to get back to that ball movement for sure because that was the first thing that stuck out to us when we first watched them in week one, and I feel like the ball kind of stuck a lot with this. So they need to get back
Yeah.
to their what made them stand out that first week. And yeah, I think Tyler's suggestion makes a lot of sense. Putting the ball in different people's hands, trying new things out. Because even though Pringle, first 2 weeks had a lot of assists, I mean, maybe we can use his talents differently and be more successful. That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
But the last game, unfortunately, not much to talk about because unfortunately the Eagles versus the Tigers was forfeited by the Eagles due to lack of roster size. They only had 4 players show up. By league rules, you must start the game with 5. Players were late, unfortunately, and referees and the staff could not wait much longer, and they had to forfeit. So we did still record that game, so make sure to still go tap in. It was an exciting game. It was scrimmage, I guess you would have to call it at this point, due to the fact that it did not count towards the official standings. But despite it not counting, Jeremy went off. Jeremy
We got to
went,
go.
Jeremy went crazy. We did not do stats for that game just yet. We are still going to. We're just trying to figure out a way to alter it in the website a little bit because there's certain things that are not supposed to count and certain things that are supposed to count. Long story short, it's going to take me more time to figure it out. But Jeremy went off. Jeremy went off like it counted. Jeremy went off like he was trying to win a championship. That man started that game shooting shit like he's never shot before. It was crazy. He had I think it was a fast break dunk where he got up. I was
Oh
like,
my
what
God.
the fudge
Oh
was
my
that?
God.
I did
Me and
not.
Nas jumped up.
I was like, what the hell was that? I never, not once this entire season have I seen him exhibit those hops. So I was like, why? How did you been hiding this whole time? How have you been hiding
From
this
the
whole
second
time?
block.
That's
From the
crazy.
second block.
Like that man just literally fast break just rose up and just broke the rim in half. I'm like, golly, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You also have a new player.
Yeah.
I didn't
Nah.
catch his name though, but they have a new player. I think the Eagles, if they can get it together, and of course show up
Yeah.
to games, with that new player, I think definitely it gives them a nice big man rotation. It gives them a nice, pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word when your starting 5 is a lot better than your bench? What is that called? Top heavy. A very top heavy
Yeah.
lineup. A very top heavy lineup. But if they can get it together, man, the Eagles are a good team. Like I said before, there's not a large gap in talent when it comes to these teams, in my
Not at
personal
all.
opinion.
Not at all.
There's not a large gap. So every team just needs to get something together to kind of
Compete.
stand aside or stand alone from the other teams. That's all.
Mhm.
That's all it takes.
I'm with you on that. I feel like when I watched the Eagles play, I know Tyler, you watched it, but being there, the energy was different. The new center they got, he looks like Laurie Marketing, like crazy. But he was grabbing the board, and every time he dribbled the ball, Nas could attest. He would dribble, and it sounded like he was trying to deflate the ball. Um, he's a big dude. He's like 6'4", 6'5". Also, their center all year has been prone to foul issues, so they needed this more than anything. A little bit more of a rotation there, and then their complementary pieces, the guys, they don't really do much, but they also don't really do a lot of bad things either.
What a way to
So
put it.
like,
It's like y'all don't
huh?
do a lot, but at least it's not bad. But y'all not doing.
They just play defense. Just
Yeah,
defense.
like it's not bad stuff that they're doing, and what Nas is saying is right. Every team in that league is just missing two to one
They got a
thing.
bunch of Tony
The-
Snells.
Tony Snells isn't bad though. He was not a bad player. He was just
He's bad
Tony
when he
Snell.
plays 20 minutes a game and gives you no points, rebounds, assists, nothing though. You
But
gotta give
re-
us something.
regardless,
he
I
gave
think
he
you
gave
know,
us 28 minutes of good basketball, good cardio. Go ahead, sorry.
But regardless, I think the Eagles just have players who know who to give the ball to and kind of just play within their realm. And I gotta respect that because there's some teams where some players are playing outside of their norm and it's hindering their team. So I like the Eagles role players, and like Nas says, I do think if they can get together, they can definitely pack a punch in this league for sure. And they're young and they're exciting and they're fun and they talk shit. Favorite
They're
thing.
another team I want to see do something different though. Like Riley on ball as a ball handler has not been working as well as I thought that it would from the two games. The first game it went perfect. I think him spotting up a little bit more, and you have like Tahari, ball handling. You have Justin Groves ball handling. You have Jeremy Young, and he's kind of playing off ball. He's playing around the screens. He's cutting more. He's
Yeah.
hitting those corner shots, and
Yep.
then late game situations when you really need to get a bucket, you kind of feed him. That's what I want to see more.
Yeah.
I think ball handling wise, he does very well, but I haven't liked it as much as seeing the ball in some other people's hands currently.
Yeah. I
I
agree
would
with you,
say.
Tyler. I agree with you. Because I feel like Riley is a different player when he's catching, when he's off the catch, versus like trying to create for others and himself. I think he's just one of those players you kind of just have to like get him in rhythm or get him in motion so he can be way more effective on the scoring end because he is their second best scorer, I think,
I feel like they don't
for sure.
have a. I feel like they
Primary
don't
ball handler.
have a ball handler. Like
Yeah, it's
a
like the midi.
playmaker. Let's say that. I don't think they have like a player that I've seen could be a playmaker, and I think that's why Riley tends to be the guy for them mostly, because I'd say he's probably the most capable. Jeremy wants to shoot, but Riley wants to shoot too. So like, I think I don't know how their roster rules work, but if they still have the time and availability to find something, they should definitely try to finish off the season with something at the ball handling position or at the playmaking position. But I don't know if they have somebody that I've seen that they can trust full time. So I think it has to be done by committee. I think it has to be a
Correct.
lot of ball movement and a lot of
Correct.
trusting each other. Cutting without the ball, setting off ball screens, and making it happen as a team. Because
Correct.
I just personally don't see anybody that I'm like, let's see if we can make it work with this person. I think it just needs to be done by committee.
Yeah, I
Correct.
just want it less to be primarily Riley and only Jeremy handling the ball. With every once in a while, you give the ball to like Kevin or Justin. I want to see like a little bit more of Tahari, handling the ball. The first game of the season that we saw, the pregame or preseason game, I mean that worked perfectly well. Second game, he had the asthma situation going on, whatever. Give the ball back to him a little more. Let's see what happens.
He's not coming
That's what I
Yeah.
back.
want to see.
He's not coming back.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
never mind. Don't give him the ball anymore.
Yeah, he's not coming back. He's good now, but his lung did collapse. But he's good now. He's fine. But I
Wow.
guess he has to take a break from basketball. But yeah, the
Wow.
Eagles have what it takes. The Tigers, unfortunately, did not look very good that game. They were very frustrated, and I mean, not much to say. The game didn't count, so I'm not gonna sit here and bash them. Maybe they just weren't prepared to play. Maybe whatever could have happened. Who knows? But I mean, the Tigers didn't look very good. They have a lot of potential. They have a lot of gritty players, and I know they can do a lot better. So because the game didn't count, I'm not gonna say much. But I definitely expect them or hope for them to have a better performance tomorrow, week 4.
Agreed.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in our plans really quick. For the moment, nobody knows this. This is not planned. Who's your way too early MVP right now?
Listen, I've been thinking about it all day. My MVP vote, and this is very statistically driven. I'm not gonna lie. All right. I tried to take other things into consideration, but unfortunately, this is not the NBA. We don't got advanced analytics. We don't got all these different camera angles to determine all these little intricacies of who's the best player in the league. So, based on my personal opinion, on what I see on paper, I am going to botch his first name because I'm just not familiar with how to pronounce it, but I'm going to say Have Tony, as of right now, should be a leading candidate for MVP. And I will make my case here. The Ducks have been doing very well. They just performed extremely well against the. Why am I drawing a blank here? Um, Against Death Star, of course. Sorry about that. They just blew them out. Have, of course, has been performing very well throughout that entire time. 2 games in a row. I think the Ducks do have the ability to beat the better teams in the league. Now, I'm not going to say I'm guaranteeing that, but they do have the ability, and it doesn't matter what they're going to do next week or even tomorrow. It's about what they've done so far. And as of right now, Have Tony's averaging 22 points per game. We talk about 4 assists. He is shooting, unfortunately, 35% from the field, but 39% from three. All right. So the field goal percentage isn't exactly there. The 3-point percentage, however, is phenomenal. I think just based on that, he deserves consideration. My second vote would be Ryan Clark. That would be my second vote. I think he's my runner-up as of right now. When the season ends, I think I'm gonna lean towards Ryan Clark because I believe the Grizzlies will finish stronger than the Ducks. But right now, I
I'll go
got Tony.
next. Mine is flipped. Almost exactly. I have Ryan Clark as my MVP. 20-7, as we know. Great shooter. Kind of handle the ball for the Grizzlies. He's kind of a cornerstone for that team. I mean, he's also shooting really fucking good too. Like I bet if I checked it, he's the second best 3-point shooter in the league, averaging 20 points a game, and he also has 7 rebounds to go with it. He's my choice.
I
My
take it
backup
back.
is tied though.
I take it back. Yeah, I take it back.
You saw?
It's Ryan. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Jave or Jave or whatever the fuck. I apologize, but it's Ryan. Yeah, it's Ryan.
But Have or Keaton, they're both kind of tied for me for 2 different reasons. Are my runners up? Keaton, bro. I mean, listen, 15 rebounds is kind of fucking crazy for someone who's not a big as well. He's not the tallest person on that team. I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, he definitely
He don't
is.
look like he's the tallest person on that team.
He definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah, he definitely is.
I thought Jonathan Henry had it over him, and even Tavares. Okay, but regardless, Ryan Clark is my pick. Have or Keaton, runner up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Keaton Smith. He's averaging 22.5 and 15 rebounds without really needing to use a 3-point line. Most of the players that are the top scorers in the league, are taking a 3-point shot. Also, he's probably leading the league in rebounds just in general. Fuck the stat, just by that mark itself. I gotta give it to him.
I think it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It is unfortunate. I did not realize that Ryan has such an efficient season. I assumed the 50% meant he wasn't taking a lot of threes, but he's taking at least 7 threes every game. So yeah,
That's his
he's
primary shot, bro. Like,
yeah
that's the mid
yeah, that man can hoop. So yeah, I take it all back. I'm gonna cut that part out, and I'm just gonna say it right here, right now. Ryan Clark is the leading candidate
You
for
coward! You fucking
MVP.
coward! You coward!
No, I'm kidding. I'm not
No.
gonna cut it out. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna cut it out. But yeah, I do change my mind though. I do change my mind. Ryan Clark is my leading candidate. I think Tony is my second place. And Keaton, I mean, they're 2-1, but like one of them wins is a forfeit. I don't really like what I've seen from the Tigers, and you know MVP is always about the best player on the best team. And I'm not a huge fan of what I've seen from the Tigers. Keaton individually has been doing phenomenal work, though. That is 100% correct. I think he deserves consideration for MVP. But it's always that conversation of if you are the most valuable, your team should be doing better. That is always going to be a conversation for me when we have an MVP debate, and that's at any level. EuroLeague, NBA, G League, doesn't matter. I'm always going to discuss that. So Keaton, though, is individually playing great. That is 100% a fact. And just based
He's
on that,
arguably also probably going to be the best defensive player. He averages 3 steals a game.
yeah, he probably is
I,
the or one of the best defenders in the league right now. But I mean, I don't know. The forfeit is what throws it back. Let's see what happens the rest of the season. If he continues to produce at this level, rebound at that level,
Yeah.
score at that level. If he can't do that, then yeah, I think he definitely deserves to be in that conversation. He deserves it as of now too. It's just I wouldn't put him too high in my list. I'd probably make him in my top 5, and it would be left out of the top 3 though. But hey, that's neither here nor there. It's about the number 1 vote getter. And for now, it is going to be Ryan Clark for me. Keaton is deserving, though. I respect his game, and I say it all the time. I said it last week, too. And then title favorites, y'all. That's always a fun conversation. Title favorites. Who are you willing to bet your house on right here, right now, as the 2025 Ox League champions? Who do you think it would be based on 3 weeks of action?
Ducks.
listen, if
Sorry.
oh, never mind. Actually, you go first.
No, go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead. I was just talking. Go ahead.
Man, I'm the Ducks are like the hometown favorite now after the B Harden thing, where he came up to us. So like I want to support them. But I'm gonna go the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies turn it around. No, that's lame. I'm not gonna be lame. I'm gonna go Stampede.
Turn it around. They lost one game. Nothing to turn
Yeah,
around.
but they're still like the favorites.
Just
Like everyone
turn
kind of
around here is not that hard.
the they did play pretty bad that game. And the game before that, I don't know if you guys remember, they didn't play that well either.
So
The Tigers or
all
That's
that
the main
matters
reason
is
I'm saying.
all that matters is which column are you putting a new tally on. And last week they put a tally in the win column, so that's all that matters. But go ahead, Pluto.
The
Who's your
Grizzlies lost.
no? The week before. Sorry, the week before. The
honestly,
one
when
they
I see
won.
all the
The
teams,
one they won.
my bad.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Honestly, when I see all the teams play, I'm a big eye test guy. A lot of these teams don't move the ball as much as the Ducks do, and I think, I mean, I've watched teams who move the ball destroy my favorite player ever. So, right now, if you put a gun to my head or put something to my head, I would say I'm going Ducks all the way. Ducks.
And I'm
They're
sorry,
too deep.
I did forget something. But Tyler, I know you know this player, the young bull that we always talk about. What team is he on again? I did forget.
The Tigers, number 32.
Tigers. Okay. I was envisioning him in a different team. Okay. I think my title favorites are tossed up, but I'm between the Grizzlies and the Stampede. I genuinely do believe Jalen has the ability to be the best player in this league when the season is over. Only played 2 weeks, and the first week was slow, but I do think it's going to be very difficult to stop him. Once he discovered that he can literally just go up with his rebounds, I think that's what's going to really make the game completely different. If your guard is rebounding at that level, he's going to score very easily. He is like a smaller D'Angelo Lee when you look at it. Like he contributes in areas where you don't expect him to contribute. Because of that, I do like. I kind of want to lean towards the Stampede. I kind of do want to lean towards the Stampede. I think they have what it takes, and I there's something that just makes me feel like what's left of the regular season and the playoffs, there is a chance Jalen might just look unstoppable for the rest of the season. I really do think it's gonna happen. I don't know what it is. There's like a sixth sense that I have that it's gonna happen. Like he might just
Well,
drop
I think
another.
what it is, I think that Jalen's going to show up more often than D'Angelo Lee does, and I think that they're going to kind of be the contenders of very similar play styles. Both very very aggressive guards that can both shoot, they can rebound well, and they're both good defenders. But if Jalen's there every week, and D'Angelo's not, that doesn't matter anymore. Jalen's going to be better.
Yeah, and I don't mean,
Yeah.
and I don't say this to sound negative, of course, because obviously D'Angelo has a life and he has things going on, whatever it might be. So this is not me saying that, put your life aside for this. I'm just, it's just the facts. 3 weeks of action, and he's only been there for one of them. So in that 1 week, he played phenomenally, of course. But I think that's going to be the determining factor. Not saying that the Grizzlies are bad without him, because when we first saw them and we saw them be so great, they didn't have him, right? When they first caught our attention, they didn't have him.
Right.
And then when they had him, we saw even more out of them because they also had Aaron Mims. So like a full roster, you would have to, the betting favorite would have to be the Grizzlies. I think that's the obvious answer. But I don't know how often they will have a full roster. And I think, like Tyler said, Jalen is more likely to show up. And I think that can be the difference maker. Now, we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season. You know how it goes. Just like we talk about on the podcast in the NBA, we might have a take in the first 20 games, but by the time we make it to game 60, our take is going to change, right? Because the whole world is going to shift based on how these players perform. But I'm going to put my vote in, and I'm going to say a Stampede. There's something in me. I think the Stampede are going to take it home for the 2025 Hawks League Championship. I really do.
I can see that. I'm gonna have to change my answer now that you picked the Stampede, though. I can't have the same answers.
You gotta be different.
What do you guys think about next week? You guys want to go over the games next week and kind of pick who we think is gonna win or lose?
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Why did I say next week? I meant tomorrow.
We got Stampede versus the Ducks. I could go first this time, and I'll say I got the Stampede taking that one.
I got the Stampede.
I got Ducks.
Okay. All right. What about Tigers versus Death Star?
Tigers.
Um,
Death Star.
I got the Tigers. I got the Tigers. I think, and
I
I didn't have much of a. Oh, go ahead, go ahead. You can go first, and then I'll give my
no go.
reasoning. I was gonna say, I mean, I didn't give much of a reason for the first one, but for this one, I do want to kind of voice my opinion. I think uh, Tigers, one thing that they have is they are pretty gritty. They do play pretty hard, and I think Keaton, being such a forceful player down low is a part of that. Daniel Tavares as well is another player. I think I don't know if Death Star can keep their composure with players who are going to play that hard the entire time. And we've seen composure is the enemy of Death Star. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just being honest. So I think with a team that plays that hard, that consistently, I don't know if Death Star is going to stay calm throughout that entire process. And that's going to cause, I'm going to sound like a hater, that's going to cause Dom to chuck up 25 shots. I'm sorry. It
Dom
is.
would be
I
at
just-
your front steps on
Listen,
Friday.
I fuck with Dom. He's my guy, but I've known him for years, man. He's always showed love. I'm gonna call it how I see it, man. Dom, the key to your success this week is to be the guy who gets everybody involved. That's it.
6+
You are
assists.
you're so good. People are going to try and guard you hard. They're gonna try and stop you, and because they know you're so good. They know you can score. Create for others, and that's the key to you guys' success tomorrow. I really do believe that.
You want to know something
6+
crazy about the
assists.
Tigers, bro? Let me
What?
tell you. You know who leads the Tigers in points?
Keaton,
You know who leads in rebounds?
Keaton,
Keaton.
You know who leads in steals?
Keaton.
Keaton.
I know.
Blocks?
I'm gonna
Keaton.
assume Keaton.
And assists.
Keaton.
Tavares.
Yeah, I think you'd be correct.
Yeah, come on, man. I do these stats, man. Come on. You're not gonna catch me slipping. Yeah, I got the Tigers though.
I like the Tigers. I'm gonna keep telling you, bro. I watched them when they were doing that youth camp. When we came early one of those games, and they were kind of training with them, like Dom, 32 on that team, and Ryan Clark. They were all working with them. 32 is nice. DeShannon Williams, he is nice. Once he starts to get a little bit more aggressive, I think he's gonna be really nasty for that team, because they got a bunch of they got like a bunch of like old head hoopers. I would say that's like the best. Like they play fundamental basketball. They're not like super flashy. They kind of like they have specific moves that they're going to, and they understand how to get to those moves. That's the kind of basketball style I see them playing. He's not like that. I don't think he's more that flashy play style. He's gonna cross you over. He's gonna dish out on drives. Like I want to see him with the ball more, and I want to see him be more aggressive. And if he does that, I think that they could be the best team.
The Tigers?
Yeah, I genuinely do believe so.
Who's
Who's going to get a fucking rebound over Keaton, bro? Nobody. His mom could not get a rebound over him right now if she wanted to. Nobody's
Yeah.
getting a rebound over him.
That's crazy.
Man.
That's crazy work. I know we got the last matchup of the week is going to be Eagles versus Grizzlies, or the Grizzly. I'm not sure if they want to be referred to as the Grizzlies.
The Grizzle.
Who do you guys have for that matchup? Who do you go first this time?
I think this is a bounce back game for the Grizzlies, and I think it's a reality check game for the Eagles. I think the Eagles, if they win this game, they are a front runner team. I think the Grizzlies need to win this game to catch momentum in this, not very long season. So yeah, it's a good game actually. This is going to be a very pivotal game for not just these two, but how the league shapes out for the rest of the year. I think so.
I think that'll be an interesting game. I think that'll be. I think Ducks versus Stampede is the game of the week, but I think that'll be the most enjoyable game in the sense where like it's kind of like 2 3-headed monsters on both teams.
Yep.
With a supporting cast that is not. They're not bad. They're definitely not bad, but they're not as good as the top three. A lot of shooting, a lot of defense, and a lot of finishing for both of the squads. I think we might see a couple dunks. We might see I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna make a bet right now. We're gonna see someone get postered. Pringle's gonna
that'd be nice.
poster somebody.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, I think I got the Eagles. I think if they show up, and this has nothing to do with the forfeit, just show up in general. Like if they show up with the roster that we see they have available to them, a solid 7 or 8 man rotation is available to them tomorrow. They have the ability to beat the Grizzlies. So I think the Eagles are my dark horse here, and I'm gonna run with them for tomorrow. I think they're gonna win, and I think it's gonna be a wake up call for the Grizzly, because I feel like the first 2 weeks those games were pretty easily won, for the most part. Then they got a wake up call last week, and I think this week, if they can't pull it off against the Eagles, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to bounce back because this is week 4. There's only one more week left and one more opportunity to finish the season with a winning record, right? So
I bet D'Angelo shows up for this one.
yeah, I can see that happening. I'm gonna be tuned in. I won't be there tomorrow to help with all the stuff, but I will be tuned in watching from my phone on my way down south for a family event. So hopefully the guys put on a show, man, because that's what I want to see. And let's wrap it up with an over under, guys. We talked about the highlight potential of that last game, and I agree. It sparked an idea. Over under 3.5 dunks for the entire game.
Under.
Under.
I got the over.
Actually,
I got the over.
I'm gonna go over. Yeah,
I got the over.
Go over.
Riley can throw it down. We got Jeremy can throw it down. We got the new guy. I'm didn't see him, but I assume he can throw it down just based on build and size. You know, we got Pringle. We got D'Angelo, who is likely to show up. You know, according to Tiger, he can see the Tyler, and he can see the future. You know what I mean? So might as well. We got 5. I
What about
think.
Mims? Mims could probably dunk too.
You think so? He didn't appear like it, but I could be wrong. Hey, listen,
He's tall enough to where I think he could.
Oxley, if you're watching, man, let me know in the comment section. Can Mims throw it down? Let me know right now if you tapped in. But I think I named 5 players, if I'm not mistaken, that can throw it down. I got the over. I got exactly 4 dunks. 4 dunks happening
That's what I was gonna say.
tomorrow.
An exact number.
Yeah, I got exactly 4 dunks.
I got 2 dunks happening.
I can see it though. I can see it. Well, let us know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching. Over under 3.5 dunks for Game 3 of Week 4, Grizzly versus Eagles. Let us know. Over under 3.5. All right. That's all we got for today, man. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. That's our discussion on the Oxy. We're gonna try and give you one every week. We might do a special event for the end of the season. I gotta talk to the guys about it, but if you tapped in for this long, man, hit that subscribe button. Share with all your Hooper friends and family. Share with all the Oxley fans that need to see this. And leave a comment letting us know that you made it this far. Who Talk out. Deuces.
You're
Deuces.